Okay, well, good Tuesday morning, Jet fans. It is 10:59 a.m., January 14th, 2020, and we are in championship week as the NFL this past weekend finished up the divisional round of the playoffs. Some very, very good games, some exciting games, some interesting games, and some that just didn't have any flow to it. We'll get to that in just a moment. Um, it has been a very big news week sports wise early. It's only Tuesday, and this all came out on Monday. But we'll start with first the Major League Baseball coming down on the Astros, their general manager, their coach, some other players and whatnot for cheating scandal or stealing signs in 2017. Anybody who followed the postseason this year or is a Yankee fan knows the Yankees were adamant about signs being stolen by the Astros in the postseason. Um, so that was big news yesterday. I think the Astros ownership showed some pride by firing the GM and the coach, um, and trying to show that they wanted nothing to do with it. My thing is, if you don't want anything to do with it, give up your trophy. But the Astros manager, Astros ownership said that it wouldn't tarnish their championship. Now it just goes to show you, ownership got rid of the GM, got rid of the coach um, as soon as it was handed down, and he seemed to be very sympathetic, very humbled by what happened. Um, Go to NFL, and you have Tom Brady. You had a whistleblower with Eric Mangini, you had a whistleblower with other players about videotaping, about deflated footballs, Tom Brady breaking his cell phone, Bill Belichick denying, and everybody from Robert Kraft to Bill Belichick to Tom Brady, everybody denying what had happened, the ball boys, and what have you. And they made it more of the NFL versus us than what my guys did were wrong. So that just goes to show you the mentality up in New England. And you can call me a hater, call me not, but if you're a Patriot fan, you got to believe somewhat that all some of these stories have to be true. I mean, come on. So going on from that, last night LSU was named national champions of college. They beat Clemson 42-25. Locally, the Rangers beat the Islanders 6-2. Uh, nice young goaltender for the Rangers has been playing well. Looks like Lundqvist. He won't be gone, but you can see that they're maybe looking towards the future. And getting back to that Major League Baseball scandal, Carlos Beltran, who's a New York Mets new manager, was implicated in this. He's been named. He was a player when this happened. I believe he's a key name in trying to figure out how to steal the signs and whatnot. Um, and I'm a Yankee fan. You know, I know Beltran had a good legacy up until he struck out in that '06 World Series. I'm sorry, NLCS. Um, I just think no matter what he does for the Mets, every time he's behind a podium, every time he's behind a mic, every time he's sitting in front of a reporter, something will be brought up about this, about part of his part he played in the scandal and in the stealing. And that's not fair to the Mets or Met fans, but you got to hope that he can move past this. And you got to also think that anytime the Mets have any type of success early on with stealing signs or whatnot, may be brought up. You went out, you went and you beat a high flying team. Um, will people be looking at you, side eye, thinking that you did something against the rules? And that's not fair to the Met players or the Met organization. Carlos Beltran needs to um, fly right and kind of set the stage of maybe turning the corner and you know just getting trust back. So so that's baseball, hockey, and college football. Divisional round of the playoffs. You looked at it at some of the games. You said, "All right, those are cakewalk." That's Um, the first game on Saturday had no flow to it. 49ers hosted the Vikings. Um, The Vikings went in there flying high off the win over the Saints the week before, but they did nothing. They did not adjust against the 49er defense. The Vikings defense did not adjust against the 49er offense. And in the end, the 49ers won 27-10. To me, again, Kirk Cousins, you can't get past that divisional round or whatever it is. I just don't think he's a big game quarterback. Um, you could say what you want. Mark Sanchez in his first, 2 seasons as quarterback, won 4 road playoff games out of 6, and of course those fifth and sixth ones were the championship games on the road. So I'm not saying that Sanchez was better, but Cousins making all this money, he gets all this backup, he gets all this support, and I don't think he's really that good. The late game now, I got to tell you, Titans Ravens, and I didn't think the Titans would win it this way. The Titans came out and were up. I believe it was 21-0 at one point. Um, they beat the Ravens 28-12. Lamar Jackson had a lot of rushing yards. I think he led the team. Lamar Jackson had a lot of passing yards, but he also had a lot of misses. He had a lot of drops. He had a lot of overthrows, and he threw some interceptions. Um, the Titan defense played Lamar Jackson perfectly. Um, it's a credit to Mike Vrabel, who not only beat the Patriots the first week, he beat the Ravens the second week. Um, I I I have to give it to them. They played strong, and I just want to get into this. They're talking, the game ended 28-12. The Titans, bent and didn't break. The Ravens at one point just kept stalling on fourth down. Um, but in 2 games, Ryan Tannehill had 70 something yards and 80 something yards passing. In the divisional game against the Ravens, he had 3 touchdowns. He threw two beautiful passes, and he ran for one. Now, of course, the Jets haven't played in 2 weeks. Um, so what comes up? Well, Ryan Tannehill played for Miami. He played for Adam Gase. He wasn't that good, and now look at him. It must be Adam Gase. And now Twitter is killing Adam Gase. Jet fans are killing Adam Gase. Any excuse. I mean, if they said climate control, they say Adam Gase caused it. If you look at the facts, now listen, I am in no way endorsing Adam Gase as a guru, and I'll go into guru also because Antonio Cromartie and I went back and forth on Twitter over some things. Um, but Adam Gase took over, went 10-6 with Tannehill first year, went to the playoffs. Second year, I believe he went 6-10, but I believe Tannehill was hurt. Third year, they went 7-9, and I believe Tannehill was hurt or needed surgery. I'm not sure of all the facts. Of those 3 seasons, he did not get 3 full seasons out of Tannehill. Now, was it Adam Gase's system? I don't know. But you got to remember, you bring Ryan Tannehill to a team where you have Derrick Henry, who's a locomotive. You got a good defense. He doesn't have to do much. It's ground and pound. It's Sanchez all over again. Okay. Um, so this thing of killing Adam Gase, you can look it up. I read a lot of different stats. Adam Gase was not the cause, and he wasn't the downfall. He was just the coach at the time. Okay, so it's just if you want to hate, you're gonna hate. I just can't see 3 weeks after the season ending, you're still burning these bridges. You're still holding these grudges. Let's move on. Let's see what he does with Donald in this next season. Maybe with Bell, using him differently. And that was Antonio Cromartie's tweet. Antonio Cromartie said, "Is it Gase or is it not Gase?" And I wrote something like, saying it's Derrick Henry. He wrote back, "We have Le'Veon Bell." Well, Le'Veon Bell does not run like Derrick Henry. He did not have the yardage. Derrick Henry had over 180 yards in one game. Le'Veon Bell, if you added 2 of his games together at one point, didn't have 180 yards combined. But if you want to hate, you can hate. And and Cromartie used the thing that he played against him and he knows he's not that good, fine. Listen, you're a professional. You've been on the field. You've been on, you know, between the lines playing against him. You know better than I do. But 2 weeks into the playoffs, 3 weeks after the season ended, for people to still be bitching, this is the deal, Jet fans and non-Jet fans and Adam Gase haters and Gase supporters. He is coaching 2020, 2021. You may not like it. I may not like it. I may like it. You may like it. It doesn't matter. He's coaching. So instead of bitching and complaining, support the team, support the coach. Now, I'm not saying go out and anoint him the new, head coach of the year, but stop being negative about it. We're not even finished with one season. You're looking towards next season. What one tweet was, "Hey, Josh McDaniels didn't get a job. What if next year, after Adam Gase gets fired, we hire Josh McDaniels?" First of all, there's a reason why Josh McDaniels didn't get a job. Okay, his the way he left the Colts after taking the job. Okay, um, he's looking to take over for the Patriots, and I have something for all the fans out there. If he takes over the Patriots when Belichick's gone, Brady is not there. So then we'll see how good Josh McDaniels is. But you know what? Don't worry about next year and how bad Adam Gase is going to do when you fire him. How about worrying about getting better and maybe not firing him? All right, that's my jet rant. So anyway, Ravens lose to the Titans 28-12 at home. It was a stunner. The next day, it starts off, and you have the Chiefs at the Texans, the Texans at the Chiefs. Chiefs on a home team. It's hard to play at Arrowhead. They lost a few games there this year. Texans start off with a 24-0 first half lead. In fact, it was 21-0 first quarter. It was 24-0 with 10 minutes left. And at that point, the Texans are they're annihilating. Patrick Mahomes is not doing anything. Um, Everything the Texans do, it's working. It's muff punts. It's Tyreek Hill dropping passes. You know, and then the Texans have a fourth and short, and they they fake a punt and they stop short. And from that point on, it was downhill. And the Chiefs score 51 points. They win 51-31. Mahomes had 5 touchdown passes. I believe he had 4 in a row at one point. It was ridiculous, ridiculous. The Texans, ironically, from Houston, give up a huge 24-point lead. Um, they go in the record books as a team with giving up. I think it was one of the top 5 teams in points. One of the top 5 leads, I should say, gave it up. The Houston Oilers in '92 or '93 did the same thing in Buffalo. They had a huge lead, and then Buffalo came back. Remember, Frank Reich did that. Well, same thing. I mean, if you're Houston fans this week, I mean, between the Texans and the Astros, my God, and does J.J. Watt come back? I'm thinking, we're going to hear about a whole coaching staff change in Houston, but they did not do that. But it was an exciting game to watch to see because the Chiefs were just down and out early. The fans were not in it, and then at 24-7, there was some electric. Then 24-14, and then 24-21, it was you knew it was over. And then at one point, Mahomes rolls out. It's like third and short from inside the 5. He's gonna get sacked, and he just kind of tosses a little duck to the tight end who barely gets across the line, and they get to 28-24, and they just never look back. The later game, Packers-Seahawks, I thought was going to be a better game at Lambeau. Um, the Seahawks could never really catch up to the Packers. Um, there was what I think was at first I thought it was a good call, but I'm saying that maybe it was short. On the last drive for the Seahawks, they had to get a first down. They were out of timeouts. It looked like he came up. I'm sorry. Let me start over. The Packers were trying to run out the clock, or the Seahawks would get the ball back. Aaron Rodgers hit his receiver. He kind of rolled towards the first down marker. It looked like he was on the defender. He wasn't down when he got across the marker. One angle showed he was down. One angle showed he wasn't down. One angle showed that the ball didn't make it. And a lot of the commentators said it was a first down. My first instinct was that it was a first down. What made me laugh was they came back and said it was a first down. The ref spotted the ball, then came back and said they had additional footage. It was almost like the JFK conspiracy. We have somebody from the grassy knoll. Yes, it's still a first down. And it ended 28-23. Um, so your conference championship matches on Sunday. The early game is the Tennessee Titans going to the Chiefs. I believe the Chiefs are a 7.5 point favorite. And then you have the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Packers. I'm not sure what the spread is in that game. Right now, I'm going to say both home teams win. I think it's 49ers, Kansas City. I think Andy Reid gets to his second um, Super Bowl. It's his, I believe, seventh or eighth conference championship game. So good for Andy Reid. I know a lot of people are killing him, saying that he can't win in the playoffs. He makes these decisions. He took care of that um, prior to what looked like a blowout on Saturday. Um, so that's where we are now. Championship week coming up. I will do another video, a preview, quick preview of that. Maybe some Jet news if it comes up. I got to tell you, really, it sucks not having a team in the playoffs. All I can think of on Saturday when the Chiefs were down 24-0 was, my God, could you imagine having this record, going through, getting a first round bye, and this is what you do the first, 25 minutes of your first 20 minutes of your home game, and then to watch the Chiefs come back and say there would be nothing like it, like sitting in that stadium like that happened. Um, and of course, my cousin Mikey comes up with the Jets will never be able to do that. That's why I can never follow that team. And Mikey, you'll follow the team. It's in our blood. They'll turn it around. They'll piss us off. It's a marriage. You know what? It's a marriage. When they do the things you like, you're in love. When they don't do the things you like, they piss you off. Unfortunately, the Jets piss you off more than they make you love them. But it's something that's we it's part of our life and that we continue to do. Quick note also, Kevin Stefanski is the Browns' new head coach. He was the Vikings offensive coordinator. Again, if I'm a team like the Browns, I'm going for a seasoned veteran coach. They're trying to reinvent the wheel down in Cleveland again. Offensive coordinator for the Vikings, who, okay, did well with Kirk Cousins, but, I mean, he wasn't great. So that's where we are now. Um, 49ers Packers is the late game Sunday. Um, that's at San Fran. Titans at the Chiefs. If the Titans beat the Chiefs and go to the Super Bowl, the Gase bashing is going to just be unbelievable. And I just want to know on the flip side, if Tannehill comes out and can't do anything, does everybody reprieve Gase? No, of course not. But anyway, check us out, www.nyjetstories.com. That's www.nyjetstories.com. We're on Facebook at NYJet Stories is our Facebook page. Twitter is at NYJet Stories is our Twitter handle. And of course, on this YouTube channel, it's Alex Pozziali, NYJet Stories. Check us out, leave us a comment. Who do you like for the big game? Who do you like for um, you know, offensive coordinator for the Jets? Do they get rid of him? Do they pick up you know key players? It was just quick. Jamal Adams was tweeting during the games. Wow, a good front seven, really makes it easier on the DBs. Almost like saying, "Hey, Joe Douglas, we need some pass rushers." And then, on Sunday he said, "Oh, good safety, turns the game around." And of course, he's a very good safety. So he's getting his point across. I hope. Um, some Jet connections right off the top of my head. Of course, on Sunday is Mike Patton is the defensive coordinator for the Packers. He was a D coordinator under Rex Ryan um, here in New York. He then went to become the head coach of the Bills. Um, he then was let go of the Bills, and he was a defensive coordinator, I believe, or the head coach of the Browns. Um, and Patton I liked back when he was on the Jets. I thought Rex ran a lot more on the defense, and Patton was just kind of his front man. But listen, he's under a rookie head coach in Green Bay, and he hasn't played well. So Mike Patton back to another conference championship. Of course, he lost the two with the Jets in '09 and '10 season. But I'm actually rooting for the San Francisco 49ers. But hey, if he gets in there, it's nice to see. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Great week. And I'll see you just before the weekend to go over the championship games.